here doing my thing. I got to tell you, last couple days I've had a couple kind of whiny. I mean, it wasn't whiny. It was just, you know what they were. Whatever. Today's a kind of fun one if you guys want to hear what's going on. I love this shit. So we have a customer, and they keel over from a heart attack and wake up a day and a half later in the hospital. We're going to call him up right now. His name's Tim. So this is hilarious. He wakes up after having a heart attack in the hospital. He's been out for a day and a half. His wife's standing there. He's got all the tubes in him, and he has a moment. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth, he says, he can't talk. He's going to write a note. He gets a little pad. He writes a note. And he goes, did my knife show up? His second question is, did my gun show up? And you get the fucking man award for that. So we're going to call him up here. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Just to say hi to him. And let you guys in on the fun a little bit.
Your call has been forwarded.
We got voicemail. That's okay. I don't want to out anybody for their medical things, but the dude has a heart attack and wakes up. He doesn't say, I love you. He wakes up. He doesn't say, where am I? He wakes up. He doesn't say, what happened? He wakes up. Tubes hanging out of all. And the first thing is, did my knife show up? You get the fucking man award for that. Like, I almost died, but I didn't spill my knife order. Like, that's fantastic. As soon as I heard that, I just thought it was fucking hilarious. Doesn't get any better than that. It's super funny. It's like there's like a shooting at a bar, and a guy stands up from carrying on the floor, and he's still got his mug of beer. Hasn't spilled a drop. So, hey, I had to get down to avoid the bullets. Doesn't mean I got to waste any beer. That's alcohol abuse. So, Tim, wherever you are, he got a stained glass window, Gigantes, stained glass Gigantes, sculpted, super cool. And I'm very stoked that he's not dead because, Tim, we've got more knives for you to buy, and it's a down economy. You know, I see these notes and I want to read them. Greg, just for your information, I watched all your OTF videos and I learned a lot. I put a drop of oil into a different brand. That's what's going on in my universe. And I just thought I would send you guys out a fun video for the day. If you have any questions, let's do a little Q&A today because I haven't done any Q&A in a while. I've been kind of having my own agenda when I pop on to talk to you guys. Let's interact. Let's find out what's going through your heads. I would like to hear what's going on with you MK Tooligans who are on live with me. There's 20 of you. Do you have any questions, thoughts, things that make you go, wish I could ask Greg that? Is the clip reversible on an OTF? Yes. Will they ever bring back the Praetorian? Maybe. Is the Praetorian really canceled? Yes. How long will it be gone for? Not sure. I don't know what a Chad means with the laughing face and the sword, but if that's good. Can we still get our Praetorians pimped out? Yes. Do you think Hunter will see any time? No. I think his sentence will be commuted. They intentionally did federal charges so that the president could unring that bell. And when I say president, I mean Jill and Ron Klain and a couple other people. I don't even know if Ron Klain's around anymore. When's the next new model going to drop? Oh, so the TFF4 goes into production pretty quickly. And then I have a really cool, you got to do something when times are weird, and times are a little weird right now. And I'm going to offer up a really cool investment opportunity for everybody, which should be kind of fun. Guten Tag aus Deutschland. Guten Tag. And everybody always says, hey, I'm thinking of investing in this company, or Greg, what do you invest in? And I go, I don't really invest in much. John P. Blade Show was not awesome, but it was better than expected. Have you ever heard Afroman's because Hunter, what? Because Hunter got high, I recommend it for a chuckle. Okay, that's funny. When's the Pro Series drop? Waiting on sheaths. So it's coming together. The Pro Series isn't going to be a drop. It's going to be a trickle because it's 10 products. They're all developed. They're all done. The sheaths are all in process, coming out of Idaho, hand stitched up there. They're beautiful. What was I talking about? I must be getting old. I've done that a couple times in the last week. Either that or I'm not sleeping very well. I think I'm not sleeping that well. I think my cortisol levels are through the roof. S45 is our steel of choice moving forward for the time being. Praetorian's pimped out. Hunter will see time. Probably not. Oh, so this project that I'm doing. So yeah, the investing thing. So I'm doing, you guys, I think you're gonna like. Now some people are gonna bitch, but this is what you do. Like, times are a little weird right now, so I'd like to do something interesting. I'd like to broaden our market appeal, and I'd like to find a way to expand while the world's kind of all in pause mode, kind of holding their breath, waiting on the election. Like, I'm betting that the country's going to pop through on the other side. Whether it's an evolution or a revolution, it's going to pop through on the other side. So what I want to do is I want to develop a half a dozen new products right now, and I don't have the cash to do it. So I'm going to ask everybody to do a kind of crowdfund raise. And I think it'll be a really cool, fun opportunity for everybody who wants to participate a little bit. For people who are true fans of the brand, I think they'll enjoy it. I'm going to get something really cool for it. And it's a way for me to find a way to get some cash to do some development things without borrowing money from a bank or taking on money from a partner. And I can get you guys a really cool return on the investment. It's kind of fun. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, you don't participate, that's okay too. But people always ask all the time, man, how can I support? And I always say, just buy something. Man, I got enough knives. So, okay, well, I got something for you. So I got an idea. I am putting it into action. I'm making the prototype thing of it right now. It should be really fun. What do I think about Dan Sullivan Knives? DSK Tactical. Dan is a good friend of mine. He was making, he was trying to make knives when I met him, and he started hanging out at my shop, and I traded him some monkey work for him watching and learning. And then he decided my way of doing it was a little too finicky and went into making bearing knives, and has since done what everybody does when they're a garage maker. They come up with a lot of really fun, creative ways to do what he does. So Dan's, Dan's knives, I think, how can I say about Dan's knives? They're cool, they're executed well. My personal, I don't love the design aesthetic. And that's why everybody makes their own stuff. He's got kind of a quirky lines and curves and bends, and so does Shane over at Scorpion Pricks. He's got the same thing, funky angles, and then the two of them collaborated and then broke apart, and that's how Shane got. Shane is like, I don't want to make knives like Greg Medford. I'm fucking doing my own business. So then he went to somebody who also learned how to make knives with me, and then they had a falling out. Shane's had some falling outs along the way. Dan and I had a tiny falling out. It wasn't a big deal. And then we got back together again because we're retard former Marines. So we find a way to get past it all. See. So I've got a couple of really cool collab projects going on. I don't know what that means. I have a couple of cool collab projects going on that I think are going to blow everyone's fucking minds, and they're pretty tactical. We did the one with Strider some years ago, but I love your knives, and many of them are excited for my twin Mercs to arrive. Do you have a plan to do more TFs? Yeah, I have more OTF styles in the works, and I'm working on a collab with another OTF manufacturer that everybody knows, and we haven't we haven't boiled down the details yet, but we were agreed in principle on doing a project, so we're doing that. Another big fixed blade maker, we're going to be doing a project with them this year. So there's gonna be a bunch of cool stuff. I've got some cool capability that a lot of shops don't have because I keep it all in house, and it also is a huge liability because when the economy gets slow, I get a little cash strapped because my costs are so high keeping this much mechanization under roof. If I was less stubborn and a little more pliant, I would probably have a 8,000 square foot building, and I would have warehouse stuff in the back, and I wouldn't have many machines. I would just have assembly, and I would have my parts farmed out. So OEM part, I would love to do some OEM work, and I've got some leads on some OEM work. I just haven't nailed that down yet, but I'm working on it. That's the kind of stuff that when the market gets a little funky, when you diversify what you do, um, it can shore up your kind of financial house if it needs a little bit of supporting during slow times. And that's the case. Nobody likes to say this shit because they feel like it's weakness and they don't want to. But it's fucking super slow in the knife business, and everybody knows it. We are all very, very tied to the end user consumer market. There's only a few companies, and most companies don't. I don't know of any companies that the bulwark of their business is government contract work. I know a few companies that have some small procurement things that happen. Those are lovely, but they can't keep a company big enough. Am I hiring? Yes, I am hiring at MKT. Always hiring. I think that's about it. Anything else? If there's anything else, I'll entertain a few more questions. I know there's a little time delay. When they come through, I'll answer them as they come. You've got 3 Marauders. Love it. I think you guys are going to dig this. I'm excited for these to come out. And I believe when you see this, initially you're going to be like, "Oh, I don't get it." And then when you think on it a little bit, you probably get it. It's not that complicated. But I've got a really cool project for everybody. And it's a way to, you know, you can kind of make 25% on your knife money, which should be kind of fun. And it's a 1 year term. So should be kind of cool. We'll offer that and see if we can generate some interest. I have 6 new models I'd like to launch and develop, and each time I launch, it's very expensive to put together. Hey, I'll think about that. Doing a Warncliffe blade for one of my real slim body knives. Um, Launching knives is always kind of risky, and it costs a bunch of money up front. And if you launch 5 or 6 or 7 models all at once, it's pretty risky to do that, especially in a down economy. So if I get some MK Tooligans who love what we do and they want to invest a little bit in that, it should be kind of fun. And then you get a really cool token for having done it. I think the tokens are going to fetch hundreds of dollars. And then what I'm going to do to pay everybody back is I'm going to give them an option to either spend the dollars or get a limited edition knife. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to design a knife just for the people who invest. And then I'm going to state how many of those there are. We will make that many. And then on camera, I'm going to stack up all those parts, pull the tool off the machine, walk over to the water jet and cut the tool in half. So you'll never see them made again. And what that's going to get us is a fixed number. If we get 700 investors or we get 100 investors, there will be that many knives. That's all that'll ever be in the marketplace. So I believe there are 9 Praetorian ties left, and those are working their way through the system here. There are, I believe, 9 that are unspoken for, and those are going to sell, and then that's the end of the Praetorian tie. And people are going to freak out. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Gigantes on the secondary market was hitting some crazy money. The Arctica on the secondary market, if it's a good knife, has hit some crazy money. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of help the primary and secondary market by stopping manufacturing of some products. And then I'm going to launch cool new stuff. and just move on. It's okay to move on. You know, the DeLoreans are worth some money, not because the car was great. They're worth money because they stopped making them, and it's kind of cool, and it was used in Back to the Future. The Praetorian tie is actually a really good knife, albeit for those guys who like that kind of chunky, oversized watch, you know, kind of tattooed, kind of a little bit thuggish. It's kind of a thuggish knife. It's not a gentleman's slicer by any stretch of the imagination. It was never meant to me. It was always meant to be a beast. It's got personality to it. And it's gone through a few generations. It's just a really cool knife. And if I do bring it back, it'll be, it's just going to be a different creature because I'm a different creature. I was closer to when I was in the Marine Corps when I designed that knife. I was younger. There were 2 wars going on. We had Afghanistan and Iraq going on full swing. I had a lot of friends downrange. And it was this kind of like talisman of badassery and toughness and roughness. And it's gotten more and more refined as the years have gone by. And it's time for it to hit the books, and then hit the history books, and I'll make up something new and cool. I've got some cool new folders. The very next one you're going to see is the TFF4 coming out. You are going to see much to I don't know, a few people's dismay. You will see the T-bone. I changed the flipper tab on it a little bit. Problem is, after you've been making knives for a while, you can almost flip anything. Like I get almost anything. I'm like, and it flips. I'm like, it's great, make it. I forget sometimes that I've got like turbo finger, and I go, and then when I see it at a show and I see half the people can't flip it and half can, usually the dudes who are flipper nuts, they can flip just fine no matter what. The guys who are like, I don't get it. What's this thing for? I got to make it flip for those guys too. So that's kind of a delicate balance to walk. And frankly, you know, I'm a bit of a knuckle dragger, and I miss the mark on that sometimes. I've been called on that. When I get called out on that, I'm like, yeah, that's true. What are you gonna do? So you know what you do? It's really cool. Like normally you write a letter to a company and say, hey, this is fucked up. What are you guys gonna do about it? I just say that to myself. The new Marauder H with Magna Cut on the same heat treat protocol as the first Magna. So I have repeated this a lot of times. So if you missed this, when we first did Magna Cut, I did it very conservatively, and I didn't like how it responded to heat treat, and it didn't act the way they said it would on the books. And then we played with it and kind of found a groove with it. It took a while to get there, and you know, kind of quietly switched. I think it's 63 or 64 Rockwell C-scale hardness, plus or minus 1. And I haven't had any of those knives come back for problems or not holding an edge or anything like that, or corrosion or anything else. So, you know, just like anybody else, there was a lot of discussion about new steel when it popped on the market, and it literally is so, it has some unique qualities about it. You know, other guys said, hey, I'm not going to make anything out until everyone shook it out for a while. If you hop on board and do new things, sometimes, just like auto manufacturers, you have a recall. They're like, because they don't get it all right every time they make a new car. The Magna Cut, it's got some quirks to it. It is not my favorite knife steel. It is not my favorite blade steel. It is not the best knife or blade steel in my opinion. I really like S45. I really like S35. There's a couple other steels I really like as well, but Magna Cut is definitely not one of them. But if you lack new designs and creativity, or you got to find some little special one-up on everybody, sell sizzle if you got it. I think it's a sizzle item. I don't think most people could tell the difference. And I know if you, Greg's going on about Magna Cut, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I do actually kind of know what I'm talking about, oddly enough. Would you consider producing a large chopper, like a big chopping field knife? Funny you mention it. Yes, I would. I am, and I will. Anything else? I like Magna Cut, but if you're better using a steel, I support using what you can. Okay. What folder's strongest? I was gonna say it sounds like a Russian, and then I see like Russian writing. What folder strongest? Big folder strong. Praetorian tie is pretty strong. Praetorian tie is pretty strong. Marauder's pretty strong. Probably the Genesis tie is probably the strongest. We make big strong knife any color long as black. W5RR2NG, thank you. If you own enough of our knives, you can get one that's got an issue, and we just take care of it, and off you go. I've had a few Porsches, and you will never get a Porsche that doesn't have a little thing here and there that needs a little adjusting or sorting out. It's just the way it goes. Too big to fail. Too big to fail was a pretty strong one, right? Not a folder, but too big to fail. Big knife. Enjoying the live. Oh, enjoying the lives, Greg. Small EDC fixed by D2 low price would be cool. Yeah, low price would be great. If you take what my screws cost and the material, that right there, just the screws and the material is almost the cost of your typical Chinese import knife. What it would cost me to ship the knife to Asia, they make it and ship it here for that price. They're doing something right. We're doing something not right. I don't know. If you want a knife that's soulless, made by pressed labor in a country that's arming itself to blow you into kingdom come and your enemies, they're trying to arm your enemies and arm themselves to blow you up. If that feels good to you, it's kind of fun. Like when I did that shirt, the China shirt over when I had T-shirt gate, I had people chastising me for saying, you want Chaitorian as the written out Chinese phonetics with an accent. And in their pocket, they're carrying a knife from a country that literally puts people in internment camps for re-education and presses them into labor. And they were like railing on me for my racism. And I was like, what the fuck? I appreciate you guys' support. I really do. I have there's a few folks out there. You know, there's a way to cage criticism in a constructive manner that doesn't hurt people. There's a way to do all of this stuff. Yeah, that was funny. Somebody just made a comment. The Chinese will stamp anything on a blade. You don't know what it's made out of, and nobody's testing it. They copy everything, you know. For a nation of hardworking, very intelligent people, they just copy everything. They have buildings full of people searching the internet for popular things to pirate. And then the government will let a company know what stuff they should make. It's fucking unbelievable. All right, got all kinds of stuff going on. MK Tooligans, I'm going to bounce. Thanks for reaching out and saying hi. I will see you guys around campus. I'm out.